Let's look at creating shapes in Adobe InDesign. As we can see, Adobe InDesign is not essentially an illustration program. However, everything that is generated within Adobe InDesign, certainly the shapes and the text, are vector-based. So that would be equivalent to creating the element in Adobe Illustrator. Let's navigate just to a clear page. I'm just double-clicking on page 4. We have a clear page, and let's start out with creating of shapes. So as we've seen earlier, from creating the masthead and the left sidebar and the right sidebar, we have used the rectangle tool. Let's have a look if we use the ellipse tool. Very similar principle. We can simply click and drag our mouse and we have an ellipse. Should you hold the shift key, you will constrain it to a perfect circle. The other tool that is located within this menu is the polygon tool. So by default, we can click and drag out a 6-sided polygon. You can then hold the shift key if you wish to constrain it, but we have an additional modifier key when we're creating shapes. Let's say, for example, we would want to create a star. We do not have a star tool in Adobe InDesign as we do in Illustrator. So we're able to modify the polygon into a star. I'm just going to delete that shape off the page. I'm going to invoke the polygon tool again, and I'm going to click and drag out the shape. While still holding the mouse, the modifier key to use now is to use the up arrow key. The up arrow key will add rows to your element, and the right arrow key will add columns. You can now see that it's not constrained. If you'd like it to be a constrained shape, you hold the shift key and you can now use this to create a constrained shape. This feature is called Gridify, where we're creating a grid from a shape. Now we can use another modifier key to turn a polygon into a star. I select the polygon tool again. I'm going to click and drag out the shape. I'm still holding the left button on the mouse. Now the modifier key that we use is the spacebar. So while holding the mouse, tap on the spacebar once. Now that I've tapped the spacebar, I'm going to use the up arrow key, which will add sides to the polygon. And I'm now going to add the star inset by tapping on the right arrow key. And I've now got a star. Should I wish to gridify this as we did in the previous example, I need to switch off the modifier by tapping on the space bar again. Now I'll use Gridify command to use the up arrow and the right arrow, and it will now give me a grid. Please remember that if you are looking for constrained shapes, you need to hold the shift key so that your shapes are constrained. That is using Gridify, and we're also using the Edit Shape tool.